What is up, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? Welcome to your angel messages. This is for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements, and it's general and timeless, so take what resonates and leave the rest. My name's Jordyn. If you're new, I'm a Master Reiki practitioner, tarot reader, and spiritual life coach. So if you want to book any personal sessions of any sort or life coaching, go ahead, check out my website and description box. But other than that, let's get into it. We're going to be using Radiant Wise and Grand Lux Tarot. So if you want any of the decks, I have them listed down below in the description box of where I got them from. Okay, but let's begin. Water signs. What do your angels most need you to know right now? A lot of freedom. Wow, a lot of freedom. like it's funny. It's kind of funny, the analogy I want to use. Like if somebody had you in a fish tank, you're like, put me in the damn ocean. Okay, Nemo. It's kind of funny. You do not want to be confined. You want to explore. You want to do new things. You might even want to travel at this time or start a new job or show up as like a complete new version of yourself. This feels like kind of like a loose cannon, not in an emotional sense, but like you like impulsive, like a little impulsive. Specific, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a change, and there's, I was about to say, it feels very Gemini to me, and you had the Knight of Swords. We're in Gemini season, which is the only reason I didn't say it. Everybody has Gemini coming up in these. So I'm not shocked it felt very Gemini. Gemini always makes me think of travel. Gemini always makes me think of like wanting to explore and like do things. And with the Wheel of Fortune there, that to me is indicative of like big shifts, like really wanting to go and try out new things, and the Divine's really at play. You might even be moving at this time, especially with the Knight of Swords. You might be even showing up or communicating in a new way or taking action in your life in a brand new way. I really like this though. I really like this. It doesn't necessarily... It doesn't feel aggressive, but it does feel assertive in the sense of, I'm going to do this because I want to do this. And I'm doing this because I want to. And you have no say in what I do because it's my life and I get to do what I want to do with my life. Right? Okay. That's cool. Ten of Cups in reverse. I don't feel like this bothers you. I was about to say Ace of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. I was about to say, this Ten of Cups in reverse doesn't feel like it bothers you. It's just kind of like, I'm done with this. Like, it's not something that I really want in my reality anymore. Could be a job, could be a relationship, could be a place you live at, could be a friendship, could just be like a dynamic, like a form it's taken. Like, you're just done with it. Like, okay, over it now. Ace of Cups, it could be getting a brand new contract if it's a relationship of some sort or a job of some sort. You're rewriting how it's done because the old foundation wasn't working. And so it's kind of like, hey, we're going to start fresh and we're going to make something a little bit more stable here. Yeah. You're like, I don't care what everybody says. I'm going to do this how I want to do it, kind of thing. Yeah. You're doing what's right for you. And that's really nice. That's nice because it's actually bringing in stability. It feels like you're very much so standing your ground. And you have 2 tens and the Tower. Yeah. Aries, Mars, Scorpio energy. We have Jupiter, the Moon, Venus, and Mars all in Aries as of today through Wednesday. Those planets are all going to be there. So Aries is going to have a lot of energy in it. So check out where Aries is in your natal chart, in your birth chart, and see what house that's taking a place in. And you'll figure out where this is most likely going to affect your life, or where you're going to have like a lot of energy and ambition to take action on things. Because Mars in Aries is the sign of self, but Mars being home in Aries isn't just like the god of war and aggression. Like Mars is actually ambition and creativity and passion, a lot of sexual energy. So if you're having this in your 7th house or your 6th or 5th house in regards to relationships or self and partnership of that nature, things of that nature, you might have like a lot of like sexual energy with people in your life. So if you don't want a baby right now, I'd highly recommend taking precautions to prevent that from happening. Okay. let's continue. Radiant wise. Woo! I love that the tower's there, because the tower is quite literally a shift in consciousness. It's a conscious awareness that something is no longer working and it needs to change. It's not like, oh my God, the divine's coming in and making this crumble. It's actually the divine bringing to your awareness what is no longer serving you, and the individual coming to a place of acceptance and saying, oh, I have to let this go. Or something happening in the material world that's making them, like forcing them into a state of surrender, like this needs to change, right? Which is kind of why people see the tower and they're like, oh, it's bad because something bad's going to happen. No, it's more so that something's going to happen that's forcing you to let go of something you might not perceive that you're ready to let go of, but really you are, and the universe is like, you just got to cut that tie. The Wheel of Fortune, Two of Wands. Six of Swords. This is the teeter-totter. This is why the tower's here. I know I should move forward, but I can't pull the trigger to move forward, because the Two of Wands is like consciously you've made the choice, but in reverse it's like, when should I actually take that path? Like, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the path, but am I actually going to do it? Like, do I really want to do this? Six of Swords. You know that you need to, though, because it's going to remove you from a Five of Swords, which is a state of conflict. And the divine's like, it's going to happen because we're going to help you there, because underneath it is the devil, right? It's something that's toxic that you're bound to, right? Addicted to, attached to, holding on to. Devil, right? Codependency, addiction, attachment, fears, limiting beliefs. Okay, cool. Programming. Underneath it is the High Priestess, which is your higher consciousness, seeing very clearly that it's not anything that you're distorted or blinded by illusion with. You see very clearly it has to go, and you're just slowly taking the steps to heal it, but there you are teeter-tottering about it. Like, nah, do I want to let it go? Oh, it's so oppressing. The Sun in reverse. Sorry, I could keep going, but we're not going to. Let's get on with the reading. Yeah, okay, so we're all on the same page with that one. Let's look at the Knight of Swords now. This is you confronting that devil energy, that whatever it is you're attached to, whether it's within yourself or somebody else. Let's see, what is it? Queen of Pentacles. Some of you, this is you analyzing the opportunity. It's the pentacle that the queen is holding. Others of you, it's another person. For some of you, I think it's like a situation, like you're approaching a situation or something within yourself. Yeah, Ten of Cups in reverse. There it is. Oh my God. It's like almost talking to the pentacle, like, I know I need to let you go. Sorry, pentacle, you've been here for so much, through so much, but I can't do this anymore. Like, for some of you, if this is a job, it's kind of like, I effing hate you, pentacle, but you've done some great things in my life, but you're absolutely destroying me at the same time, right? That's kind of how I felt about being in the corporate world. Right? Like, oh, you're great in so many ways, but I absolutely despise you. Right? Or like a place that you live, like, oh, it's so nice to have a home like this, but I absolutely hate this community. Right? Like a catch-22, right? Or like, there's so many different examples. Or a habit, like, oh my gosh, I love sugar, but it doesn't do well with my autoimmune disorder, so I have to stop eating sugar, right? So there's a bunch of examples if it's a situation. Now, if it's a person and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person, but we have a really distorted perspective on love, or it's really codependent, that's another way of looking at it when you're working with another human being. And so there's going to be communication with that, or it's going to be you shifting your thought process about whatever it is that you're attached to, whether it be a substance or a situation or a person. Okay, let's look at the Ten of Cups now, because you have it twice. Knight of Cups. Ooh, this is nice. Six of Cups in reverse and the Page of Cups. Six of Cups in reverse tells me that this is something that is imbalanced, very much so. The Six of Cups tells me that it's emotionally unstable, or it creates a lot of emotional instability. And it's something that you might continuously like go back to, like you detach from it, you go back to it, you detach from it, you go back to it. So it might be something that's really cyclic for you. With this 10 of Cups. Sorry, it's making my ear like really tight on the masculine side too. The right side's the masculine side. So this tells me that it might be something that you struggle to really detach from. And that's why it shows up as the Devil. And that's why it's a Tower moment, because it requires a lot of healing and a big realization. But it's also making the offer and commitment to yourself of being honest, like, I know I need to really start investing in things that are more balanced and not imbalanced, right? And that's why you're starting to be authentic and genuine with yourself about how you're really feeling. Because the Page of Cups to me is the card of authenticity. And it's also the card of being genuine, right? Genuinely trying to understand how you feel, why we do things, why we act the way we do, why we pursue the things and people and situations that we pursue. And it's trying to understand, like, okay, why did I keep going back to this? Why did I keep attaching to this? And then it's starting fresh with the Page. Like, okay, this is how I change the situation. This is how I get my Ace of Cups. This is how I create a new stable foundation, right? So this is the learning the new behavior, because the Page is the student. It's starting again, right? So if you're rebuilding this, which is kind of what it feels like, rebuilding the situation in a new form, whether you get a new job or you find a substitute for all the sugar you like to eat, whether that be fruit or whether you start exercising more. King of Wands. Oh, I like this. The Fool. So there's a new beginning. And Strength. Oh, I like this. So here's your masculine energy, right? That right side. So, okay, I'm going to be really ambitious and determined and creative. Like, this is someone who's literally looking at the past. Looking at the past. They were on the table like this and I held them up the wrong way. But looking at the past and saying, okay, as much as I really love this thing, I can still cope with this situation in a way that's healthy, right? And there's the King of Wands, being creative, being ambitious, being determined and diligent to have a new cycle that supports their ego. The Strength card represents the ego, the pride, in a really healthy way. It's understanding that I can heal the parts of me that kept going back to an unhealthy way of having love in this, whatever your devil was, right? Whatever your attachment was to whatever that attachment was. Let's look at the 10 of Pentacles, because it's going to be different for everybody. There's a Tower, right? The sudden realization that you can have stability, you can have long-term commitments, you can have safety and security, you can have all of those aspects mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, in your relationships, in your work, in your home, in all areas. And that's why the Tower's coming in. It's showing you a new way of creating that form of stability in your life. But it comes with opening your heart, no longer being shut down to yourself, right? Learning to be vulnerable, learning to be honest with how you're feeling and why you're acting these ways and why you're pursuing things in a certain way, or just being more aware of your own behavior, being more aware of, okay, why am I doing this? What's my motive? Like, what's my why? What is my why? What is your why? That's something like we talk about all the time in the spiritual life coaching that we do. Like, what story do you tell yourself? Like, what's your relationship with relationships? What's the story you have around yourself? What's the story you have about men, women, spirituality, money, romance, right? All that stuff. How do you pursue those things? Why do you pursue them that way? What story would you like to tell yourself? What are you doing to achieve that story, right? Blah, 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 blah. And it helps reprogram the mind, because then you understand, okay, well, what can I do to get me there? And what small steps can we take every day to achieve those things? And how can we celebrate those steps? That's what's going to help you open up your heart and see that this is very, very possible. And you're going to get to that place of starting to build these things. But it's time to take off that blindfold and see that the only person standing in your way of this 10 of Pentacles is you. Make the choice. Lovers, decisions. It's about making the choice. Making the choice to make the change. Only you can make this choice to make this change, and it's through conscious awareness. Let's look at the Tower. 4 of Pentacles, and you're holding on to it. You're like, I want to hold on to it because it's familiar, and I'm so used to it, and I thrive in this environment, even though it's toxic or it's not helping me progress to where I want to be in life. But it's what I know, and it's where I feel safe and comfortable, even though it's stopping me from achieving what I really want. Right? Because the unknown is scary. And that's what the ego likes to tell us. Because the ego likes to sit in this nice little safe bubble. And when you start to step outside that safe little bubble, your ego, her name is Shaman, and she likes boxed wine. When Shannon sees me step outside the little bubble she likes to keep me in, she's like, oh, no, you can't go there. That's scary. I don't know how to protect you there. So I'm going to make you have an anxiety attack. So that's why one way the ego will try to like manifest you back into old ways. Like, let's trigger fear. Let's trigger defensiveness. Let's trigger an outburst that pushes the people closest to you away. Let's trigger you isolating yourself or disassociating. Let's trigger any old behavior that throws you back in to the past, right? Because you want to know why? Because you're shifting into a brand new you. And the ego's like, well, I don't know how to protect this brand new you. Well, you want to know what you need to tell your ego? Well, my higher self, my brand new me, my authentic self is going to tell my ego, you know what, Shannon, I got this. And we're going to grow and we're going to learn new tools to protect ourselves in the new life that we're building together. And just because it's new doesn't mean it's scary, doesn't mean it's harmful. We just need to explore it and see it with fresh eyes. But that's where that surrender comes in. Because so often we have fear, false evidence appearing real, trying to keep us from exploring new opportunities out of the fear of failure, out of the fear of being unworthy, out of the fear of judgment and ridicule. And that's that self-defeat, right? That self-defeating programming. And that's the Empress, right? In reverse. Stopping yourself from really being receptive to the opportunities that are trying to come your way. It's distorted feminine energy. It's a lack of belief in self. It's keeping yourself small. And it's all because there's a fear of success. There's a fear of, what if I do grow big? What if I grow so big and then the sky falls on me? Like, what if? But what if you succeed? What if you do amazing? And you know what? You know how many times I've failed in this business? And every time I failed, I found something else that led me to another form of success in some way. Or I've walked down another path or led down another branch that was more meant for me. That is the process of learning and discovering self and what works and what doesn't work. Because through every failure, there's a lesson. And every time we learn something, we're going to grow. It's not something to be scared of. It's not. But the ego, that circle, it's going to yell the loudest when you start breaking outside of it, because it wants to keep you where it's comfortable. Because the ego is just a programmed part of yourself from when you're younger, but those tools are now used in excess and they're sabotaging. So you need to find healthy tools for the new you that you are, because you're no longer this old scared little you. You're a great, grand, amazing you. Be the great, grand, amazing you. Okay? I love you. This is what I have for you. If you want a personal reading or a Reiki session, go ahead, book it down below. If you want to be part of Spiritual Life Coaching, check that out too. And check out Patreon if you want help with meditation, energy work, you want access to monthly readings, moon cycle readings, all that jazz. And I will see you